We're here to talk about the Learning Hub, our high school students, and all the concerns. Brought Darcy in to talk about some of the actions that LMG is taking towards helping our students, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions that we're not doing too much, but I think there is a lot of work done. People are just not aware or informed. So I'm going to ask Darcy, what has LMG been doing to help the kids get back to their high school?
I think it's important to know that the effort started way back in July. It wasn't just since October when the decision was made to have our students no longer attend. Back in July, we started trying to figure out ways to make sure that our students could get there safely, and that a Sugarloaf student was a Sugarloaf student no matter where they came from. So we worked on, in collaboration with New Brunswick, on safety protocols for our buses, going back and forth, making sure that the students had what they needed to go back and forth, that they would be able to go around Campbellton, go to Tim Hortons and Subway, and maintain some of that normalcy that they're accustomed to, and hang out with some people that they're used to being around, right? We have a very interconnected community, and those efforts started in the summertime and allowed for our students to start the school year in a safe way.
All of this has been happening since even before the students were told they couldn't go back, and up until then. Who have you been speaking to, and what type of results have you been getting from those discussions?
Right. So in dealing with the situation, we've been reaching out from right up to the Premier's office, whether speaking with Premier Higgs or some of his staff, talking to public health, talking to public safety, talking with the Ministry of Education. Oftentimes I'm talking to deputy ministers and ministers, Aboriginal Affairs, to try and find ways for our students to continue to have the access that they need, or our people that have the access that they need. Specific to education, check in quite frequently with the deputy minister, the assistant deputy minister, superintendent, the principal, and the minister of education. So from local right to Fredericton, we're reaching out constantly and trying to find solutions to both ensure the safety of our kids, whether that be here in Listuguj or going to Sugarloaf, and secondary to that, how do they continue to pursue their education, and what kind of supports do they need?
Since then, I guess you're talking to a lot of officials, you're talking to a lot of people at different levels, and what are the results of this? Would it be good to stay, or is staying here a good option, or is going to Campbellton a good option?
I think that's a great question, because I think that's exactly where we are right now in trying to answer that. Our students have been out of school for a little over a month now, out of Sugarloaf. We've been able to create almost a secondary high school here in the community with the Learning Hub through amazing efforts by people from Listuguj, community members just coming together and going above and beyond. And we're seeing some pretty interesting results from that. The students are doing well for the most part. We've seen it. I mean, I saw it whenever I worked at Sugarloaf. Our students do struggle. That is a fact. A lot of services have been in place. They still struggle. That's why the services are there. But we've noticed recently with report cards coming out and progress reports and attendance reports that actually the students are doing a little better here than they used to at Sugarloaf. So it provides a little bit of insight into how important the hub has been for our kids, that there are some successes, and that we can build off of those. And I think the key question is, where do we get the most stability, and where could we best put our efforts into making sure that our students continue on and succeed?
So after what happened, I'm sure we all heard about what happened, the protest. There was one in the morning, there was one in the evening. I guess, what are your thoughts about yesterday? I know you were there speaking in the morning. So what are your thoughts about yesterday?
Yeah. I think it was tremendous to see the level of support that was there as we prepared for the walk, as we went for the walk across the bridge, and arriving there and actually having that police escort to the school was pretty interesting. It's not what we would have expected. Yes, and RCMP allowing that, right? So it was good, and it was nice to be back in Sugarloaf and in familiar surroundings, to see some people we haven't seen in a long time, to have the teachers come and say hi to our kids, to tell them they missed them, reconnect a little face to face. A lot of good things, and we saw a lot of people in Campbellton cheering, honking, coming out of their houses and encouraging and sending messages of support. It was really a beautiful moment, and makes you realize how important those connections are for everybody. And then, unfortunately, us getting there was, I think, based on a misunderstanding in the emergency order, and there's still the need to determine a long-term solution for our students and accessing Sugarloaf. So it led to some confusion and another protest in the evening on the bridge. There, I think we noticed that it wasn't as organized. There were some safety concerns and some messaging concerns there. But if we're to pull out, the silver lining of it all, it's that our kids are very passionate. Our students want to go to school. They want to continue their education, and they want to be heard. And I think that's the important part for us that we need to work on. And I know that LETE has been working on a strategy to do just that, and we'll be reaching out to the students and providing those opportunities over the next few days and weeks, as well as talking to the staff at the hub and reaching out to parents. And this will provide the opportunity for each and everyone concerned to provide that input, that necessary input, and in a good way, have that face-to-face conversation with someone. And I think that's very important for us as leadership to hear from everybody, not just the voices of a few. And it's a lot easier to talk within the community than it is on the bridge in the middle of the evening.
Well, thank you, Darcy. I think this is very good information for community to know. Is there anything else you'd like Listuguj to know about this situation, about our high school students? Anything you'd like to add?
I think it's important for people to understand that the work continues. It started back in March in trying to figure things out, and we've never stopped. We continue to reach out and try to always find the best solutions for our people, for our community. And we're going to keep doing that. It's something I take to heart. It's something that I've tried to do, in every approach I have. And there's a lot of people that have taken notice of how we're doing things here and how we're trying to work in the best interest of the community. We have MPs, we have ministers reaching out, we have the national chief and regional chiefs that are calling and wanting to know how they can support. So the voices of Listuguj are being heard, and people have taken notice and lent a lot of support. Going forward, I think we have a lot of opportunity in whatever it is we choose to do. We just have to pick a direction and find that stability for our kids going forward.
Thank you so much, Darcy. I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us, and we'll talk next time.
All right. Thank you.
So now we have Bobbi here to speak with us on behalf of the Learning Hub. Bobbi Madahbee is the Enhancement Manager for the Listuguj Education, Training and Employment, and she's going to be here to talk to us a bit about the hub. So hi, Bobbi, how are you?
Hi, Cami. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to ask you a few questions about the Learning Hub and to give parents, community members a better perspective of what it's like. So if you can tell us a bit how the Learning Hub is organized, how it's set up.
Okay, so we currently are servicing our Listuguj High School students in grades 9 to 12 in community at the Listuguj Learning Hub, which is situated at Listuguj Mi'gmaq Development Centre, also known as LMDC. We have 14 enhancement staff, 2 Anglophone district EAs, 2 Francophone district EAs, 1 math tutor part-time, 1 culinary tech instructor / chef, and 1 acting admin at the Learning Hub at LMDC. All the students there have access to Wi-Fi and all have laptops while they are there. And the enhancement staff they've established a really good routine for the students. They're greeted at the door upon their arrival. We follow COVID safety protocols throughout the building and in classrooms, provide breakfast and lunch programs that is provided by in-house community members here. And we have the honor song, which is played each morning as opposed to O Canada at SSHS. Students are situated in the classrooms per grade level. So there's a class for grade 9s, a class for grade 10s, a class for grade 11s and 12s. And all the enhancement staff have access to student schedules, so we know which class every student is in, which sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming in some classes, because you might have, in the grade 9 class, you might have 10 students in the grade 9 class for that period and 5 different classes going on. Student schedules and periods have not changed, so they follow their regular schedule like as if they were at SSHS, trying to create some normalcy there. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Bobbi. Can you describe how the teaching and the instruction, how that is happening?
Okay, so we have a high ratio of staff to students. We have 21 staff who are currently working at the hub, with the idea of bringing on a few more tutors for certain subjects. Presently, the classroom instruction is provided online by their teachers at SSHS. The students are able to interact with their teachers over Microsoft Teams. However, I do have some in-person classes where some enhancement staff currently are assisting and teaching classes such as phys ed and shop at the hub. And I have one community member, like I mentioned earlier, that is teaching culinary tech. The enhancement staff roles, though, have changed dramatically. So on top of the regular duties that they had prior to October 8th, they're now also all assisting in the classrooms. Some of them are teaching, and I have all staff who are supervising throughout the whole day. For culinary tech, we are renting the Elders Lodge to provide culinary tech classes there. And for phys ed, we are renting the youth center. The shop classes are done in the garage at the hub. And starting last week, we had the principal and vice principal and 2 teachers come to the hub, which will continue until things change.
So can you tell us a bit about the priorities for the students at the hub right now?
So first and foremost, our priority is the students, their social and emotional well-being at this time. Also ensuring their academics continue to roll out and assist them with that however we can. But we're also needing a long-term solution for the students. We can't. So if the province decides to allow them back, we want it to be long-term, not next month switch back to, okay, no, now you're not allowed. And then having to dismantle the hub and then put it back together would be very challenging at this time. So we need a long-term solution. That's a priority for sure, which I know is there's a lot of work being done for that. In terms of instruction, we need to increase in-person instruction for the students, and for online, ensuring that the technology is in place for the students, because as you know, it's all online. But they do need that in-person instruction. That's really important too, face-to-face. And maintaining a sense of normalcy during this difficult time. So routines and socializing and safety and schedules and stuff like that. Another priority for us is providing Mi'gmaq teachings and values at the hub. However we can incorporate that into their day. We're looking at doing that as well. And lastly, of course, ensuring that the students feel welcome and included in their learning environment that they're in, right? So.
Now, what would the challenges be revolved around a learning hub and sort of this method of teaching?
Well, Making sure that in-person teaching continues. So we're working out some of those challenges right now, and we're trying to add on a few more staff to provide that face-to-face, like I'd mentioned. And I know the high school has recently purchased conference mics to better assist in the audio in each classroom, because right now one of the challenges is that the students at the hub can't hear everyone in the class. They can hear the teacher because the teacher's using their laptop, but they can't hear some of the discussions that are going on in their classrooms over there. So that's going to be fixed and resolved there very shortly. We do have some students who, majority of our students who want to go back to the high school, but we also do have some students who have made it very clear to us that they prefer to stay at the hub. So that may be a challenge or may not. Really, I think this is one's really important for parents to hear, is that we have some students who are not logging on to their teams on their laptops on the days when they're at home. So it's not really a day off for them. They're supposed to be logging on to their teams because there still is work to do on those days when they're home. Even the work that they did prior, like say the day before when they were at the hub, they can continue that work. So we have some students who are not doing any work on their days off or not logging on to their teams, which we can clearly see. And this is causing some students to fall behind in their work.
Just to give the parents a little insight, can you explain to us a little bit what Teams is?
So Microsoft Teams is set up so that each and every student and staff, I'll say it this way. So every teacher has their own Teams for their class. So the students log on to their class, and their teacher is on there. That's where their teacher instructs. They can chat with their teacher. They can chat with the other students in the class at that time too. That's where all their assignments, their work is posted for the day or for the week. Their notes are in there. Some have the textbooks are downloaded onto their Teams. So every teacher creates their own Teams page.
That was actually a very good explanation of what the Learning Hub is and how the high school students from SSHS and also PRP, I believe you have about 3 students?
2 students from PRP, yeah. So we have not just SSHS that we're servicing, we're also servicing the 2 PRP students at the hub, which means we go by 2 different schedules, right? So their schedule is different than the Sugarloaf schedule.
I guess you can say this month has been a big learning curve and a big challenge for everyone. But I think you guys are doing a great job. I think everyone needs to know the work that you guys are doing. And it's also good work. The students apparently are doing almost better than before, statistically.
Yeah, so the stats are showing us that in terms of attendance and in terms of their academics, really, they're doing very well considering. I mean, our students are very adaptable. They adapted when they went to school in September. They adapted really well to the COVID changes that were put in place at the high school. And then when the decision was made for them no longer to attend their high school, they adapted very quickly to the changes here. We did have some bumps in the road, so to speak, but we have a huge support here within the community to help us out with those bumps. So, and I have a great staff, so it really helps.
I guess you can say it's kind of given us a nice insight into what it might look like if we had our own high school or in the future. It's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, this definitely would be a good foundation that has started. There'd still be a lot of work to do there, but yeah.
Awesome. This is great to hear, Bobbi. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Parents might need to know.
Yeah, actually, there would be some things. I get a lot of texts and emails and phone calls People are seeing me as the administrator of the hub, which I kind of am doing. But we also brought on Gilbert Sear, who's assisting me with that. So when there is anything, when it comes to students being absent for whatever reason, the parents can still call the high school and let them know of their attendance or why they're out, and they'll mark them in there. We do daily attendance as well, but the school does it much quicker than we do. So I still want to. I want the school to maintain these are their students. They are their responsibility. So for parents, just to know that if there's ever any issues, you can contact the school. I work very closely with admin. We talk daily. They come over here now, starting last week. So we're both aware, we're all aware pretty much of whatever situations arise or challenges, or if a student is out, I also share information that needs to be shared with my staff as well.
Great. This is nice to hear. Thank you for coming in, Bobbi. Yes, my last discussion was with Darcy Gray, our chief. He gave us more of the political side, and now Bobbi has given us more of the insights of what is happening in the hub. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact the SSHS administration, or contacting them at the Learning Hub, or even contacting LMG. I think we're listening. We also have some surveys coming up for our students. LETE is putting together these surveys to gather information or concerns that the students are having. We're also giving out a survey for parents and for the staff at the Learning Hub. So just to let you know, we are here, we are listening, and we'll speak soon. Thank you.